Here I am in Austria, in Salzburg. Just had a delicious meal. Stopping for a little evening stroll along the lake. Let me try that. Going for a little evening stroll along the river. Not sure if this is a swimmable river. But up there we see the moon. Seems much more chill here. Certainly mountains around us, but not as much activity as there is in Switzerland, it feels. Let's dig into this. What's up there? Tomorrow I will go there. See what the scene is. Interesting. Another day of solo travel, hanging out, doing my thing, thinking my thoughts, and writing. Doing a lot of writing. We'll see what it produces. Last year, my trip through Europe felt like a goodbye tour. I revisited old situations that shaped me in my 20s. I volunteered, played gap year student. I spent very little time alone. There was a sense of looking backward, honoring the person I had been. This year feels different. For days at a time, it's just me. A train station, a mountain trail, a cafe, a hotel room, my own thoughts. And somewhere between Switzerland, Austria, wherever I'm headed next, I've been reflecting on what it means to get older. When I climbed Kilimanjaro in my 20s, I was sore for nearly a week afterward. A few weeks ago, I completed the Tour du Mont Blanc. Different hikes, different challenges, but what surprised me most wasn't how far I could go, it was how quickly I recovered. My body is stronger now. Not necessarily faster, not necessarily younger, but wiser. It knows how to pace itself. It knows how to conserve energy. It knows the difference between comfort and danger. It knows how to keep moving forward. One step, one trekking pole, one breath at a time. The other day I was talking with a friend about solo travel. She said something that stuck with me. Most people are afraid to travel alone. They're worried something bad will happen, or maybe they simply can't imagine doing something like this by themselves. A few nights later, I was having dinner when I heard American accents at the next table. I couldn't help myself. I leaned over and asked where they were from. They were a lovely older couple visiting Austria for the Sound of Music tour. At the end of our conversation, the woman looked at me and asked, "Is your mother worried about you all the time?" I laughed. "No," I said. "I think my mother wants to call Austria and let them know her daughter has arrived just to warn everyone. Because I've always been a bit of a force." But as funny as that moment was, it made me realize something. Whether it's meeting friends along the way, navigating a new city, climbing a mountain, or sitting alone at dinner, I've built a life where I genuinely enjoy my own company. Mentally, physically, emotionally, I trust myself. And that's not something I could have said with the same confidence 20 years ago. Travel has never really been about seeing places for me. It is about discovering who I become when everything familiar falls away. This trip has reminded me that strength doesn't always look like pushing harder. Sometimes it looks like trusting yourself enough to keep going. Sometimes it looks like sitting alone with a coffee and realizing you're perfectly content. And sometimes it looks like standing on the other side of a mountain, grateful for a body that still carries you, a mind that keeps you growing, and a life that continues to surprise you. And for all the places I've traveled, that may be the greatest adventure of all, learning to enjoy being with myself.